I don't think you can be Armenian in the diaspora if you have no connection with Armenia. I don't think it has to do with the language. I don't think it has to do with the food. I don't think it has to do with the music. I think in the current generation, in the past, you had to just have long memory so you could live off of the past. Today, it's not right. I'll say it very strongly. I don't think that the people who died in the genocide would have wanted us today to only obsess over that issue. I think they would have said the best way we win going forward is to basically get stronger and stronger and make that sacrifice worth the sacrifice. I can't imagine a diaspora without Armenia, and therefore I think the only way we're going to get a good Armenia is if we invest in it. So to me, it's really kind of existential. I actually tell people, they don't like hearing it, that I grew up most of the time hearing predictions of the diaspora and Armenians dissolving and basically disappearing and the diaspora going away. I actually now believe it will happen. And I think the old diaspora will go away, but it'll be replaced by a new diaspora that is built upon Armenia. And so I think it's just a question of time that Armenians who hang on to this notion of a diaspora without Armenia are going to dissolve, and Armenians whose entire Armenianness is defined by a connection to Armenia will take over. And I've said this for many years, a little bit hopefully more after the 100th anniversary, people are feeling it, but I can't fathom having had a 100th anniversary commemoration without Armenia. So we're not doing this for us, we're not doing this for the government, we're not doing this for the current parents, frankly. We're doing this for 5-year-olds who have no say, they don't vote, but they're going to live in the country we live. You know, in the United States, I'm just one of millions of people who do stuff. Here, I have a unique capability to make a difference. And I actually venture to say that's the case for just about every Armenian in the diaspora. So to me, it's not an obligation, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity that comes with no preconditions. And if I decide to look at the bad side, then I shouldn't be here. The reality is that I never ever came here expecting I was owed anything, and I never expected people here were going to trust me or that I was going to trust them. And you just kind of, if you find a few good things and you make more of them, I think change happens. So people call that idealism. I just call it progress. So I see a kind of a bipolar existence in the fact, not intellectually, but in terms of two poles pulling us, one from the past to make sure that we correct what was wrong and we can teach the world lessons we uniquely have learned by being survivors over 3 generations, but at one that's pulling us from the future. As Armenians around the world, we're better off with a better Armenia. And I don't understand why we don't want more of that, and the only way we're going to get it is through Armenia. You know, there's the old saying that says basically if you're not moving forward, you're going backwards, because everything else is moving forward. And I think that Armenianness has to be defined by progress, by moving forward. And so I don't care as much about, oh my God, we're going to lose identity, so therefore we have to do it. I don't view this as preservative, I view this as progressive. I find that in Armenia, the youth has this kind of appetite for change and for a better future a lot more, sorry to say this, than their parents do. And of course it's reality because the parents have the burdens of today and the youth don't yet. The question is, how do you not lose that? How do you not let the burdens of being, making a living and building a family not make you compromise on your ideals and on the possibilities? And I know that's easier said than done, but given that I live my life in the US, totally uncomfortable, totally afraid of what's next, etc., I think people can do that here as well. If I was a 21-year-old in Armenia, I would learn at least English, if not more than that, and I would use that to meet every single diasporan Armenian that had any relevance to the field I'm in, to generally kind of doing Armenian development, if that's what I was interested in. Armenians as a mindset have to embrace being world-class. I find in a lot of the work we do that Armenians, because of the environment and the survival that has been forced upon us, accept being good enough as opposed to thinking that we could be world-class. Individually, many Armenians are world-class. Collectively, we accept not being world-class, and I think that has to change.